here. Hello. How we doing? That's a cat. On cue. What's up, chat? How we doing? Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Happy March 3rd, 2021. That's a Wednesday. Oh gosh. Big 10 gamer tonight. Lots of news and notes that we gotta navigate today. It's gonna be fun. There's gonna be a lot of chalky, trendy spots. Hopefully it goes a little bit better than last night. Some nights you just have the absolute worst. The worst. Last night was the worst. Everything that could go wrong, it was like Murphy's Law. Everything. Literally every approach that I had last night was like not wrong. So one of my it was a small game, medium-sized slate. I was like, all right, we got to make some stances here. So I decided to full fade LeBron James against the Suns defense, and full fade Jokic on the road, night 3 and a 4, back-to-back. They were a decent underdog. Thought there was a chance they could get blown out. Of course, Jokic and LeBron are the top two fantasy point scorers. Then I had tier 1 Derrick Rose And he ended up just not playing. He was rolled out after lock, so I had to scramble to get that. And then, my lineups on FanDuel, we're struggling to replace that Derrick Rose. I couldn't go too quickly. He was a shooting guard. Just so many small things like that kept happening all night. Kawhi getting not starting, but not ruled out yet. Game's already going, but it was chaos. It was absolutely a crap fest. So I hope you guys did well. It was probably my worst night of the month, maybe year. But tonight is a bounce back, right? Last night took an L, but tonight we bounced back. Jokic, LeBron, John Morant, your top 3 fantasy point producers last night. Russell Westbrook with another 50. Then, of course, Paul George, Raul Kawhi, mid-50s. It is a 10-game slate tonight, and it is going to be very high-scoring, very wild, very wild. So hopefully you guys are buckled in and ready to attack all of the chaos that's coming. We already know a lot of ins, outs, doubtfuls. That's going to create some underpriced next man ups that should ship and shape the way it goes. Let's get caught up on chat here. What up, Dez? What up, Lorenzo? You guys can hear me all right, right? I don't have the mic all up in my grill just yet. Here we go. What up, Encore? What up, A-Dean? What's up, Book Crispy? Montrez owes me money. Yeah, Marcus Hall gets rolled out after lock yesterday. It was kind of a weird. It was just so weird. It's so weird. A-Dean. Anthony, I'm honored that you made the intro music the same song that you were playing when I slept in your bed last night. It's all about continuity with me. It's very important. This music makes me so hyped. Let's go. What up, Russ? Mr. Portugal Gun, my flight got canceled. One more day for DFS. Let's get it. Let's get it, Portugal. My brother. What's up, Lorenza? Had Kawhi on my cash lines at 20%. Thought I was a goner, so I leveraged the field. Switched to Giannis, 76%. Noel, 52% for Jokic, 26%, and quickly. That was great. Good little. That's a beautiful way to use late swap. So are you saying you were locked into Kawhi, and 20% of the field was with you, dead and stankin'. So you decided that, hey, if this lineup as is just won't cash, so I got to do something crazy and hope for variance to go my way. And you went with the lower own quickly and Jokic. That is the late swap 101, right? What up, Justin Sports? Dang gun, been rocking with you since you was just a gun. Proud of your progress. I appreciate that. When something happens like Kawhi news and you got him, you need to switch off what everyone else has. Yeah, that was a beautiful play. What up, EB? Let's get Raj in here. The hot take stupper. Yurt.
Yo, yo.
Yo, yo. How we doing?
Looking like it's going to be a wild slate today. I had one of the best nights on DK yesterday. Take some down and one for John Collins.
Of course, the absolute dumbest night ever is one of your best nights, right?
I mean, made the right pivot to quickly, which came through. And the only guy that had a good line was John Collins to come through. Was the only kind of core guy who messed up for me. One against Chronic.
That whole game, send that game to the freaking sun, man.
Yeah, and I mean, might go right back to it with Capella questionable today. So today's gonna be a wild one, like All-Star game, a couple days away, or All-Star break. So some players are just gonna sit, get some extra rest. So it should be it's gonna be probably the highest scoring night of the season, I think, today for sure.
We shall see. It's gonna feel a lot like late season. So chat, just so we kind of keep you guys updated. For those that don't know, there's a lot of people out, and every year, right before the All-Star break, coaches and I don't know, load management staff plans will try and steal extra rest by ruling guys out now as we get to the All-Star break, the week off. So they'll turn a week into 2 weeks by strategically benching a guy for 1 or 2 games before the All-Star break, and then their body has that time to recover. We're starting to see that today. Let's flip to Fantasy Labs 3 p.m. Tweet to DeMontis Sabonis questionable, Tobias Harris questionable, Jeremy Grant questionable, Buddy Hield questionable, Luka Doncic doubtful, Clint Capella questionable, Evan Fournier questionable, Kelly Oubre questionable, Gordon Hayward probable. And then, of course, we know from last night that LeBron James is going to sit today out. We also know that Jeff Green's out, Luwalu's out. Lots of it's
all the Raptors.
Yeah, who is it? Van Vliet out, Siakam out.
OGL.
It's going to be a lot of next man up potential.
I think everyone who's questionable probably sits because this is the last game for a lot of teams for the break, right? There's only one more slate after this tomorrow, so
yeah,
it's the last game for a lot of them.
So look forward to that. Look forward to a lot of high-owned guys on a 10-game slate, right? Usually used to be back in my day 10-game slates. There were no chalk. Today there's going to be chalk.
Yeah.
I already see it.
Today, though.
There's going to be a lot of Boucher, a lot of Brunson out there. Also, we get James Harden. I'm coming home against the Houston Rockets. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's going to get wild.
Shout out, DraftKings got a $20 $600K total, $150K up top, and FanDuel has a $3.33, $133,000 up top.
Try and get that
money. Got some massive tournaments. Yep.
Get that money, honey, for the
Join
All-Star
the Six-Figure
break.
Club.
Six-Figure Club. What's up? Chat. Anybody here on Top Shot? I'm gonna plug this promo a bunch because it is a really cool promo. You guys know that I have partnered with PrizePicks recently. Well, not only, if you've never played over there, not only can you sign up right now and use code GUNDAGGER and get an instant deposit bonus up to $100, but if you guys are trying to begin or expand on your Top Shot collection, they are giving away a Damian Lillard and Steph Curry moment. Ba-bam! All you have to do is be a first-time player. Use code GUNDAGGER. And sign up, and tonight make a card involving Steph Curry and Damian Lillard, and they'll be giving away Steph Curry, Damian Lillard moments. Right now, those moments are worth over $500 on Top Shot. So, just think about that. Somebody can sign up today, use code GUNDAGGER, put $10 in. It's already becoming $20. Then play a prop pick parlay, win that 10x, and then they can wake up in the morning and win a Damian Lillard and or Steph Curry moment. Like, somebody could have a really fun day. So shout out to Top Shot for this promotion. We'll talk more about it later, maybe look at some picks, but just wanted to get that out there. If you guys are Top Shot enthusiast, it's growing. Raj, last night I watched a little bit of Josh Hart streaming on Twitch with Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Opening moments, gifting moments, and then they would just like Jalen Brunson's new. This is his screen name. Everyone gift him moments, and people just gift him moments. I was like, how do I get that? Meanwhile,
I don't know why people are gifting a bunch of millionaires moments, but okay. That's a weird flex.
It is. But anyway, you guys check that out. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. We have got a lot of discussion to do. So, let's discuss. If you guys are ready, game number 1 tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the Indiana Pacers. Project starting 5 for the Pacers: Malcolm Brogdon, Justin Holiday, Doug McDermott, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner taking on Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade, Jared Allen. We got 217.5 total, 5-point spread in favor of the visiting Indiana Pacers. Domantas Sabonis, this seems pretty important, is questionable. We're going to pull up, okay, virus straight. Okay, Domantas Sabonis is questionable. We're going to pull up the injury news and notes for the Pacers. Doug McDermott also has a cute tag on him, by the way, and so does Jeremy Lamb. Sabonis questionable play on Wednesday with the Pacers playing their first game of a back-to-back right before the All-Star break. It would not be shocking if they opt to rest Sabonis on one or even both of these nights, as we talked about the All-Star rest. Miles Turner could be in for a huge game, and Jakar Sampson and Goga Bitadze could see additional minutes. Jeremy spoke and is downgraded to questionable. You know how that goes. Nate Bjorkgren said earlier today that he was expecting Lamb to play on Wednesday, so the questionable tag might be a bit of a smokescreen. We'll see if they update his status after shooting around. That's a blurb from Sports Edge. I keep wanting to say Roto World. Doug McDermott, questionable after getting a tooth knocked out on Monday from a Ben Simmons elbow. That's a man right there. Who needs a tooth? So this Pacers game could be as much as full strength or as little as Brogdon and Turner, and then they become an interesting. Really, they're both individually interesting because of the matchup against the Cavs. Overall, it's going to be a down and pace matchup. However, we could slap a lot of minutes and a lot of usage on a guy like Brogdon and upgrade Miles Turner's potential usage. He's a guy that maybe not going to stuff the stat sheet with rebounds, but he definitely will offer you some blocks. The Cavs are one of the teams giving up the most amount of blocks per game, so we love that for Turner right off the bat. And you have to assume without Sabonis, it's only a greater opportunity for Turner at 6K on DK 6500 on FanDuel to produce perhaps in the 40s of fantasy points. So I like those two early on, contingent on Sabonis potentially being out. If Sabonis is in, I think it just becomes an average Pacers game. You guys know the drill. Sabonis could still drop 50, 60. Brogdon could still drop 40+. And there's still a range of outcomes for Turner to be a solid play. McDermott's not really going to move the needle for me much either way. On the Cavs side, Jared Allen is almost 9K on DraftKings, 8,300 on FanDuel. It's going to be a weird day, Raj, when already, like, a lot of lineups, when you click enter on DraftKings, a lot of lineups are already preloaded with Chris Boucher, right? I don't know if you saw that. It's just they're just loaded. They're like, hey, you're going to want to play Boucher just here. Yeah. So guys like Jared Allen make a fun, tournament idea as a play because center is going to be spoken for in a lot of lineups. Jared Allen viability here, 8'3", 8'7". I mean, just like the Cavs, the Pacers do allow a decent chunk of blocks per game. That's going to help Jared Allen's upside. Doesn't get blocks like Miles Turner gets blocks, but we've seen him be able to drop 40, 50 fantasy points in the game. And then Colin Sexton's coming off one of his better career games, and Darius Garland's had a good stretch of games, but I just don't feel like I'm getting to 7 to 8K Garland Sexton on this slate. So I really just think Jared Allen's the only Cav I want to discuss. For my personal player pool, you do anything special with this game, or is it all just really Sabonis contingent?
Yeah, so I'm going to assume Sabonis sits, like I said, last game for the All-Star game, getting some extra break. So, I mean, in that case, you would think a guy like Miles Turner is going to see a boost.
If that is the case, I feel like he could play today and then sit out tomorrow.
They do play tomorrow? The Cavs, or you mean Indiana?
The Indiana.
India, okay. I mean, yeah, so maybe they want to rest Sabonis, find out have a back-to-back. Maybe that's the case. Yeah. But yeah, still, if he sits Miles Turner, 6K, Brogdon at 7'9", I think is intriguing. Him versus Lowry, I think is an intriguing 1v1. He should get a big boost with no Sabonis in there. Good matchup. I mean, a guy like, if McDermott plays, Jeremy Lamb is still questionable. If both those guys are in, maybe just stay away. But if one of those guys are in, one of those guys are out, I wouldn't mind playing like a Justin Holiday. Even Justin Holiday might have to chuck up 15 shots here if both those guys sits and Sabonis sits. Don't hate that. On the Cleveland side, I mean, they're one of the few teams with no questionables of anyone major, so I can see myself not getting to anyone there. Jared Allen is still priced through the roof, so it's tough.
It's tough. He still has potential to drop 50, but like on this slate, you miss out on a couple 50s here and there. It doesn't kill you as long as you're locked in with who you got, right? I have no pushback on Chris Boucher, but Jared Allen dropped 50. Yeah, there might be 3 other centers that have 10% ownership of the drop 50, so I don't feel as stuck out. Like on slates like yesterday where 6 games or less, like if you miss out on the 50, 60s, you feel like you're out of there. If I miss out because Jared Allen dropped 50 today, I can make up for it. But I'm not completely disqualifying him from making my player pool. But no Sexton, no Garland, none of those guys for you?
Sexton and Garland for me in this slate, I 0. I don't see a world where I pay 7-7 for Sexton or 6-9 for Garland.
Let's get caught up on the live chat here. Dougie Fresh, over-under on John Wall, James Harden getting ejected. Did they have beef like that? I feel like it was like passive aggressiveness. Like it wasn't, I don't know. I feel like Paul and Harden might have had a little bit more beef or maybe even Westbrook. Des, side note, your channel has linked a lot of us together as friends. When I see these dudes on here, it's all love. That's good to hear, Des. Same way in the Discord, man. We've got some connections in the Discord. People are I mean, Jesus, that thing is 5 to 7 years old now. And there's just, it's just like your friends at the bar, I guess, in just a virtual sense. Noah says, I just got offered Tatum and Chris Middleton for Lowry and Brown. Is that Jaylen Brown? Defensive category league. For categories, I probably just keep Tatum and Middleton in there. So if you're getting offered that, yeah, go for it. Earth to Air, what up, dude? Mark K, if you ain't playing Horton Tucker, Markieff, Harold Schroeder, there's something wrong. They're in good spots, too. Let's move on to the next game here. Philadelphia 76ers hosting the Utah Jazz. Project starting five for the Jazz: Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, Rudy Gobert. Taking on Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, maybe. He's questionable. And Joel Embiid. We got 230 total. A 3.5 point spread in favor of the Utah Jazz. This is a really, really high total. So normally a Jazz home game hosting a Sixers home game hosting the Jazz, I probably wouldn't be like stoked, but that total makes me want a little piece of it, especially with competitive the way it is. So I guess the first thing I want to do is I'm going to check out how Embiid has done against Gobert. Joel Embiid DK versus Rudy Gobert last 10 games. And then secondly, I want to mention that if Tobias Harris misses again, Joel Embiid just has a ridiculous history of 50 to 60 plus fantasy points. And even in that last game, Raj, the man smacked 50 in a blowout, didn't even touch the court in the fourth quarter. So his propensity to be an extremely strong and under-owned play, perhaps, rises. 40.8 DKP in 30 minutes last time against Utah in 2019. He hasn't played against Gobert in 2 seasons, it looks like. There's some 56 to 60. So keep an eye on the status of Tobias Harris. If I pull up the Philadelphia injury news and notes, Toby is right knee contusion. Doc was asked whether Harris could play in Philly's final game before the All-Star break, and he was optimistic. He said, I hope so. He really tried to play Monday, but we more made the call tonight. We need him. Hopefully, we can get him back next game. So it looks like he could be very questionable. And if he plays, then maybe I take a little bit of a step backwards. But I still think Embiid, there's just like no one's going to get to Embiid with some of the value centers tonight. And if Tobias Harris was in or out, I feel like people don't immediately make that connection. So I'm willing to have some Embiid as maybe early tier 3 exposure to kind of paint that picture. Joel Embiid, DKP by game log without Tobias Harris. Let's pull it back. Last 15 games. And just kind of show you the ebbs and flows of how great he's been for fantasy. There's one game under 50, well, 48. There's one game under 50 fantasy points in the last 15 games without Tobias Harris. Under 50, and that was just a 23-minute game against the Hawks where they were getting blown out, and it was night 2 of a back-to-back. Look at all these other just really, really strong performances. So on a night that's going to give you so much value, right? It's just easy plays. We can offset the pressure for a 5-6X guy and just go throw a blanket over some raw points. And Embiid could be the highest scorer on the slate, point blank. I know Harden's in the mix, but I'm just saying there is a range of outcome where Embiid in a competitive game without Tobias Harris breaks the slate. So Embiid's important to me, or at least Tobias Harris. On the Jazz side, Donovan Mitchell's probably the most intriguing name there for me. 8'2", 8'5", I'm looking for 40 plus. He's not going to be a priority, but I definitely think that he could enter the conversation. Again, 230 total. Raj, I feel like I can't dismiss this game. What do you? What's your knee-jerk reaction to this one?
I think Joel Embiid with no Tobias Harris. I mean, Rudy Gobert is obviously a tougher matchup, but I could see him outscoring James Harden today. I think James Harden's obviously going to be the popular click at 11K, but Joel Embiid at 10.4. You put all these value guys around him. He could be the highest scorer of the night. So give me a lot of him at that price tag if Tobias Harris does sit. Ben Simmons, 9-2. He had that big 70 game against Utah. last time when Joel Embiid sat and him and Tobias went off.
Yeah.
Probably going to pay that 9-2 price with Embiid playing. I think it's hard for him to smash at that price. Utah side, I mean, they might be their team that's fully healthy. And today's slate, I might be staying away from fully healthy teams.
Okay.
It's one of those things. Like it's tough. They're tough clicks, right? When you're fully healthy and everyone else is out. So
I mean, we can't have an all 4K lineup, dog. You know what I'm saying?
No, not like all 4K lineups. Like if one guy's out, I'll play the stud on that team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if Capella's out, I'll play John Collins or Trae Young or something like that. So with Utah, I can't. Yeah, I feel like anybody above 7K, I don't think I can play unless someone on that team is hurt or sitting.
Okay. If Tobias is out as well, we've seen some strong games from Shake Milton. And I think Milton, for me, would probably just be a FanDuel only play. He's going to have immediate competition with guys like Taylor Horton Tucker in terms of trendiness. But he's got a couple of games that I definitely take. Again, that last game, maybe a blowout kind of helped him out a little bit. But against Utah, if Toby's out, they might stretch out their lineup a little bit more. Thibault, Ben Simmons may play big a little bit more. 29, 31 minutes for Milton in the last two games, almost 30 fantasy points apiece. So at 4,200, he'd be right there in the mix for me. All contingent on the availability or lack thereof of Tobias Harris. Any other plays? Chat. Gun, a.k.a. Rivers. That impression hurts. Mr. OG Claxton's a lock. Yeah, love Anthony Edwards and Roby on Yahoo. All right. I don't know if Utah blows them out. Joel is the first to sit because of injury risk. I mean, Philly's still. I know Utah is elite. Utah's probably the best team in the league, but Philly's been all right at the house. They're the second best home team I think in the league behind the Utah Jazz. I don't know that I'd be preparing for the blowout. I guess it is possible, but I think that's a risky assumption, all things considered, with the spread being as light as it is. I'm going to play some Kuzma. It's a late game, so I can swap to Carmelo if he's out. All right. Let's move on to the next game here. The Toronto Raptors hosting the Detroit Pistons. Project starting five for the Pistons: Dennis Smith Jr., Svi Mikhailiuk, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and Mason Plumlee taking on Kyle Lowry, Norman Powell, DeAndre Bembridge, Stanley Johnson, and Chris Boucher at 211 total, 6 points spread in favor of the Toronto Raptors. This is probably going to be one of the lowest totals that we talk about, but it's still going to give us one of the highest concentrated ownership games, at least on the Raptors, on the slate. Kyle Lowry's 8-2, 8-1 without Van Vliet, without Siakam. Really hard to see him score less than 40 fantasy points. Chris Boucher, 6'6", 6'4", same, mid-30s. How does he let you down in this spot? And then, of course, you can easily justify Norman Powell for deep minutes. It gets a little trickier after that, like Stanley Johnson, Utah Watanabe, guys like that we've seen thrive per minute. But I would assume Lowry and Boucher is the 1-2 approach by the field, and then Norman Powell is there, and it's kind of a revenge game, I guess. Casey on the other side behind the clipboard for the other team. Don't really want to stretch that too much, but just thought I'd mention that. And then the Pistons, you guys know how they've been rolling here. I think this Raptors team, some of their defensive metrics might be a little bit more stout than maybe they will actually be able to play up to, especially in the absence of Pascal Siakam. So I would maybe think that a guy like Jeremy Grant on this side slate gets a little overlooked. He should lead the team in minutes and lead the team in usage. And then guys like Dennis Smith Jr., maybe Josh Jackson, are really, really, really gray area, long field, deep field tournament dart throws. But I do think I want to get an on-off court tool ran here on the Raptors here, and just out of curiosity, see if we have any sample size on how the Blazers have looked mathematically in the absence of a Van Vliet, Siakam, and I guess Anunoby too. I didn't even mention him, but he represents a decent chunk of minutes, right? I got him down. Him down, and that's it. Van Vliet, Anunoby, Siakam. Remember last slate where Siakam was out and we ran to OG and he was like such a slow burn? Like he ended up not killing you, but he went like his first 8 minutes with no fantasy points. That was a fun time. Okay, Boucher on and Kyle Lowry on. any minutes here. 68 minutes of sample size. Lowry's at a 30% usage rate, 24% on Boucher. Not enough not enough sample size for me to care about these numbers, but it is like confirming what the eye test kind of assumes. Lowry also has a 44.2% assist rate in that small
Makes sense.
sample size. It does make sense. So I am curious. Maybe we take advantage of that. What are some of the prop numbers on Lowry's assist tonight? So I'm gonna go pull up PrizePicks. Remember, code Gundecker when you sign up. Instant deposit bonus. Let's go to single stats, assist, and then Kyle Lowry. They don't have Lowry for assist. That's dirty. That's dirty.
They know.
They really don't have Lowry. That's a shame. All right, maybe they add him later. But maybe if you guys have access to Lowry assist props in the books, he's averaging 6.5 per game. So if you can get his average as a number, maybe bet the over. Raj, how many Raptors is too many Raptors?
It seems like you want 3 Raptors in every lineup. The way they're shaking out, it's like the guys
you want
are out
three?
and they're playing Detroit.
You want three? You want three? You want three? You want three?
In every Raptor? Yeah, 3 in every lineup, right?
I think 2. I think 2. But I don't even say every lineup, but 3. Who's your can't miss third guy?
Well, actually, I think Lowry at his price, I think there's pivots. Like, there'll be AK guys who outscore Lowry. I just think Powell and Boucher at 6'7", like, both those guys have, 40-point upside, can touch 50, and despite it's Detroit. It's a top 5 matchup in the league. So I think Boucher and Powell, and then you have value guys in Bembry, and either Bembry or Davis is going to get you 10x their price. One of those guys will be the premier value of the day, along with some Lakers guys. So I would just those would be my big 4, and Lowry is kind of like, again, great play at 8-1. I just think there's other studs who could outscore him depending on how the game goes. So I think you want, again, 3 Raptors in every lineup. Detroit side, if I'm going to play that many Raptors, do I need to? I think Jeremy Grant's questionable is interesting. If he's out, I think that opens up a lot for
everyone.
Junior Sable, everyone. Yeah, everyone. Who am I going to go to? Josh Jackson, Plumlee. I think would be a good option there. Could be a triple-double spot for him.
Relax. Hold up.
No,
what?
I mean, not like a
Hold up. What?
When he has those big games.
Okay, but one triple-double, and all of a sudden, this could be a triple-double spot.
He can have a Draymond Green type of game. He can have a Draymond Green situation here.
Okay.
A lot of playmaking with Dennis Smith Jr. and Saban Lee as a point guard. I could see him doing some point center. So no, it's all these guys. Josh Jackson, you probably have in the pool. If Jeremy Grant's out, Sadiq Bey. I mean, this is a game you want.
The 211 total game is the game you want. 10-game slate.
With all those guys out, I think 211 is a little low. I think this game's going to be closer to 225.
I think it'll be down in pace. Anyway, Boucher, Lowry, Powell, the 1, 2, 3 for me. But I'm kind of like hesitant to I don't think I'm gonna be married to 3 Raptors in a lineup. Like, I don't think that's gonna be something.
Not big on like Bembry or.
There's
Davis.
So many so you get 3. You get 3 bargain bin Raptors. Essentially, not even bargain bin, to be honest. Like 8K for Lowry, 6'8". Guess what other team has no starters and is facing the worst defense in the league? At home.
Yeah, I think the Raptors.
Maybe I want 3 of that team. and over
3 Raptors and 3 Lakers in every lineup. I'm with it.
Seems a little. All right, little ambitious. Chat. What are you guys doing on this one? Fading Charlotte. Then blah blah blah. I have Lowry over 8.5 assists. Too much. That's probably a little expensive. At that point, you kind of be knocking on the door of a triple double. So maybe look for Lowry PRA and see if you can get a soft number on that. Edwards versus LaMelo Ball. Nets Rockets on ESPN tonight. Harden's definitely going to be the source.
What are you doing with Bembry and Davis though? I feel like they're elite 3K value guys. Like one of those guys probably goes off.
Okay. Taylor Horton Tucker saying what's up.
I mean, yeah, he's part of that group of elite three guys. I think Terrence Davis will see a lot of backup point guard role here too. Going to chuck some shots.
Maybe Utah Watanabe is also interesting to me. He's had a couple games where. Did Raj just say that Vegas books were 14 points off this? Yeah. Raj is on one so far. It's hilarious.
I just think with all these guys out, it's going to be running up and down the court. It's young bucks on the floor.
No, why would they be running up and down the court, Raj? You're making stuff up.
No, what? Terrence Davis, Norman Powell, Boucher.
Why are they pushing the pace all of a sudden, Raj? Stop. Mr. OG, I'm fading Boucher, FanDuel, Power Forward, too many cheap options under. I'm like, that. What up, Josh Gilham, Nets, Rockets, yup. Got that. What's up, Asano? Dougie Fresh, Yo Gun, was that a Whataburger cup? Way to rub it in. Kind of. It's a Yeti cup. It's actually, I'm drinking coffee out of it. My boy Taco, longtime VIPer, got it as a Christmas gift a couple years back. So it's made in the image of Whataburger, but it's actually a heavy AF metal Yeti cup that keeps my coffee really, really hot for a really long time. Alstri has Lowry. Osmo has Lowry prop line at 8.5 and the under projected at 8.49. Take what you want. I mean, that's a tenth of a fantasy point, right? Like not even a tenth. That's a what's past a tenth. So yeah, that's right on the nose. So what you're seeing there is a lot of the elite projection sources. Like I'm pretty sure my assist number on Lowry is probably close to that. So if I go to player props, a lot of us have algorithms that are just so similar that it is what it is, and these prop books are catching up, or just like based off of that. I have Lowry at 7.9, so I actually have him a little softer. But yeah, okay. Conscious, what up, Conscious? Wall revenge, Harden, yup. Harden should sit this game just cause. Powell over 22.5. 22.5 real points. I could see that. Looking at this lineup, he's averaging almost as many real points per game as Kyle Lowry, and then we're removing 38 minutes of Van Vliet, 36 minutes of Siakam, 35 minutes of Anunoby. Yeah, I feel it's a high price, but I not a high price. That's a high number, but I think it makes sense. He could represent that, and if you think he gets the over, you probably should play him in DFS. Who's your favorite value play minus Horton Tucker and Markeith? Probably Boucher. You just made a cup of dark black coffee here, too. Yeah, I'm at a Bang. Opened the fridge. I didn't have a Bang, so I was like, you know what? Make some coffee. Coffee's good, too. Brooklyn Nets at the Houston Rockets. Next game on the docket. Project starting five for the Nets. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, DeAndre Jordan. Taking on John Wall, Victor Oladipo, Daniel House, PJ Tucker, Justin Patton. We got a 229 total, 10-point spread in favor of the visiting Brooklyn Nets. An ESPN game. Nothing to see here. No reason why James Harden would want to play even more inspired than he has been. Going against the Houston Rockets, I saw the other day the Rockets said that they would retire Harden's jersey. So I don't think that's a ceremony that they're ready to have now, but it is some respect. 10-point spread here. Rockets have been playing very bad basketball. Lots of blowouts in their recent history. Like on paper, this shouldn't be that close necessarily, but I think everyone wants to believe. I'm seeing it in chat. I'm seeing it in Discord. Seeing it on Twitter. Everyone wants to believe that you do not fade James Harden here. No matter what the score is, James Harden is probably going to leave the planet, go back to Houston. I do believe they have fans, and probably put up a big game. So with all the value on the slate, I'm not going to talk you down. I'm gonna be a chalk donkey. Hee-haw with the rest of them. 11-2 on FanDuel, 11K on DraftKings. I haven't projected right about 60 fantasy points. You already know I like the handcuff between him and Kyrie. More often than I don't. They combine for 110 fantasy points, I think, on average in this one. So I like those two quite a bit. I think if we want to get to some more economically and fiscally friendly plays here, we got Jeff Green out. Luwawu, I believe, is out. So DeAndre Jordan might play some deep minutes in a matchup that he should thrive in terms of rebounds. And then Nick Claxton has been introduced into the rotation as of late. We've seen him play 15-ish minutes per game. And in that last game, he showed us a per-minute explosion. where I think he dropped 30 fantasy points in 17 minutes. So not necessarily getting just a massive chunk of minutes, but if you think this game could get lopsided, which a 10-point spread suggests that it could, maybe gets a little bit of a showcase opportunity deep in the fourth quarter here. And he doesn't need a whole lot to get you over 20. He's done that in 2 of his last 3 games. Low floor, high ceiling kind of guy for this price point. So maybe you put him in the mix and some good things happen. On the Rockets side, Raj, give me some type of hot take that makes me think that the Rockets keep this game competitive.
I mean, if they do keep it competitive, I would think John Wall or Oladipo, one of those guys, go for 50 DK at their prices. I think they'll be good tournament options. I think Victor Oladipo at 7-9. There's some upside there if this game stays close. I'm expecting a blowout. Has Brooklyn's defense been better lately? It just seems like the games that their opponents haven't been doing as well. Like, is that a real thing?
Quantifiably, I don't have the
Like
numbers
Orlando,
in front of me.
Dallas, they kept under 100.
They got smacked. They got smacked by Dallas. Orlando's not a great offense right now. I know the Lakers game was kind of low scoring. I don't know. I'd like to see it, and I also wouldn't be results orientated if the Rockets scored under 110 because this offense has been atrocious. So maybe it's just a really strong stretch of games where they're facing lackluster offenses. It could be a little bit of both. Like, I didn't think the Nets would continue that pace to being the worst defense in the history of defense. They also have Andre Robertson that's been playing some minutes. That was kind of the idea of signing him to the short-term contract, same with Shumpert. So maybe we're getting some tangible results in that regard. And then Claxton, 15 minutes, maybe he's there's some cases to be made, but I don't think the sample size that we have, or at least the teams that they've been playing, is strong enough, long enough for me to believe that the Nets are anything above a below-average defense.
I hear you. That makes sense. I think this game blows out. I think I'll be under the field on Harden. I just like a lot more 7, 8K guys. Maybe get a couple of them with the value guy instead of Harden. The revenge narrative is there at 11K. On this slate, at 11K.
All right, I'm going to stop you there. Define under the field on Harden. 1, where do you put the field? 2, where do you put you?
I think Harden's probably coming in at 40%.
Okay.
And I'll probably come in at 20.
Why? But then why even play him? I don't get it. If 4 out of 10 players have James Harden in your mind, and I think this with all the value, like, why wouldn't I just take those raw points? More often than I don't like it. What do we got? We got Jalen Brunson, we got Chris Boucher, we got a ton of 6, 5K, just crazy potential upside, overperforming. Like, who are you playing in lieu of Harden? Like, I guess you can make Harden into 2 solid plays with the same punt.
Yeah, it's kind of like the 2 solid plays.
Who?
Or I think Embiid in a closer game. I mean, who?
Okay, I like Embiid. Don't get me wrong. I like Embiid if Tobias is out.
I'll have more Embiid. Yeah, if Tobias out, I'll have more Embiid than Harden.
All right, I'm gonna let you make it on that one. Seems like a very elementary debate to have, but I do think James Harden's gonna want a little spice on this one. He's gonna put a little pepper on.
For sure.
His night. John Wall, Victor Oladipo, Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon's been questionable lately. He's missed a couple of games. Let's get caught up on their statuses. You might assume that Houston might play with the same kind of sauce. Eric Gordon, Daniel House are being listed as questionable. Gordon sat out Monday's game with a sore left knee, and that game coming as the second of a back-to-back. But Houston might sit him out for the final 2 games heading into the break. So get another update following shoot-around. If him and Daniel House are out, Jayshawn Tate and Victor Oladipo would probably get more run there. David Nwaba is out due to a right wrist injury. Rodion Carew-Wood's out as well. So, is there any merit? Is there crazy thought here? ESPN television, 8-6 on John Wall, 8-3 on DraftKings, 8-6 on FanDuel.
I like that.
How many times does John Wall outscore Kyle Lowry for a fraction of the ownership, perhaps?
The time he does is when you're gonna win that 100K, 200K. This is how you win those big nights, is when you pivot off of guys like Lowry to a John Wall or Oladipo. Again, Brooklyn, they should score out. I mean, Houston should be able to score at will, even though they look terrible the past few games.
They really haven't,
Oh.
but okay.
I think they've looked bad.
The Brooklyn?
No, Houston.
Oh,
Rockets.
yeah, Houston's looked horrendous. I thought you meant-
Rockets, yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah. The Rockets look bad, so kind of hard to trust. But I think Oladipo and John Wall are great tournament players. They can get you a 50 bomb, no doubt.
Yeah. I would love, man. I definitely want to look at some ownership projection sheets today because there's some fun leverage here. Like for 10-game slate, when X amount of players start trending 30, 40 plus % owned, like the pivots write themselves. Yeah. Russ says the argument is even with all of this quote value, the hardened builds plus non-hardened builds while playing all the similar other players around them gives you a significantly different build. If you're trying to win in GPPs, the hardened builds will be 3v3s of one another. The non-hardened builds are closer to a 4v4 in construction and also leverage off the non-hardened builds. I just went cross-eyed. Russ with the with the goodness.
I like it, Russ.
Harden is a god in Houston. Houston just opened back up with no mask. What we need to worry about. So I don't think that no mask thing is until the 10th. But they don't care. Texas really hasn't cared. So I don't think if you're projecting like a full capacity Toyota Center, I don't think that's a thing.
And you play Harden like on both sides. Like I feel like like Russ said, your build's gonna be very similar in a lot of ways.
I almost don't care if Harden gives me 50.
No, he needs like a 70 bomb.
But does he? Like I don't like if I could play Harden at will because I got Brunson.
You're not winning with the Harden 50. You're not winning with the Harden.
Maybe not a tournament, but like I don't care.
Yeah,
like if you're gonna guarantee me that the raw points of that, and 50 is like the low end projection. Like if you just give me 60, you could argue that that's not enough at his price. I just think there's so much value. Why wouldn't I just go get the raw points at this point? Right? If I'm filling in a Horton Tucker, a Boucher, or some just extremely can't miss value plays based on the ins and outs today, why wouldn't I just go get that 55, 65 floor from Harden here? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get why we're overthinking James Harden. You get into those fun debates where Harden versus maybe Embiid without Tobias or guys like that, the studs that are on the slate.
Against Golden State.
I love Lillard, yeah, Curry too. Like maybe those guys get slept on, but just conceptually, like I'm not. Yes, on FanDuel you get three. You get no less than three big boys today.
Even on DraftKings, you play two of them.
Harden probably hit the strip club for lunch today. Let's go.
Facts.
Harden even at 60 doesn't screw you up. But yeah, if Harden's 60 at 40%, you're in it. Raw points are raw points at that point. Harden Lou would be chilling lemon pepper. Let's go. What's up, Ariel? Russ you everywhere. Yeah, Russ is the GOAT. Russ puts in work and he's seeing the dividends. You're gonna need a stud if you play a lot of value. Yeah. You can't. You're not gonna have a lineup full of 4K guys tonight. You're gonna have to put that money.
You could play like what if a 6'5" Kobe White gets you like a 45 bomb? You can play a couple of those guys. There's a couple of guys in the high 6s.
What if you died while you're having sex? Then you'd be coming and going at the same time. What do you mean? Okay, what if Kobe White? Like you're just making up.
No.
What if?
Kobe did a great spot. He gets New Orleans. No marketing. Been dropping consistent mid-30s. This is a spot. Last game we dropped 46. I'm just saying it's a good spot for him. You can just play guys like that.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next game. Chicago Bulls at the New Orleans Pelicans. Project starting five for the Bulls. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Garrett Temple, Patrick Williams, and Wendell Carter taking on Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Stone Cold Steven Adams. A 237 total with a 5.5 point spread. So for all of the just take the points basic B discussion that we just had, this is a game that could put up a lot of points. We're going to pull up that team metric chart on the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. And the Pelicans are the second worst team in the league in terms of defensive efficiency. And the Chicago Bulls are hanging in there in the top 10, which actually is getting a little bit better. But their pace rating is really, really fast. So two below average and one really, really bad defense should be running at a pace-up spot. There's a lot of fantasy point potential on both sides of this game. Zach LaVine's almost 10K on both sides. Is really, really tough to click that name today, but he's definitely in a great spot. Kobe White you mentioned could get us a shot at 40. The New Orleans Pelicans do give up an egregious amount of points per game via the 3-point shot. We know that's kind of Kobe White's specialty. Pelicans giving up the most real points per game via the 3-ball. So yeah, Kobe White's kind of baked into a good spot here. And then on the Pelican side, Zion, he's 9K on both sides. So this is definitely a 50-plus fantasy point potential spot. And same with Brandon Ingram. Not a lot to hate here. I don't feel like we're getting like an absolute great deal, like bargain-wise on a lot of these plays. But this game could go bananas, right?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you have Zach LaVine here at 9.5, dropped a 65 bomb last game against New Orleans. That's a tournament click. You can play Zach LaVine on today's slate. He gives you 60 plus. That's someone who can definitely who can win a tournament for you. So, do I get to it? 3 entries? No. I mean, how many lines would you have to play to get to Zach LaVine? 100?
100, yeah. Like, and it would probably be like game stack-ish decisions.
Yeah. I hear that. So I do like Kobe White's price. At his price tag, you can fit him in with some studs and value and still get some other pieces. And he has, like I said, that mid-40s upside at 6'5". Give me some Kobe White. The New Orleans side, I think this is a dream spot for Zion. 9,100, it's kind of a high price to pay. He's been super efficient, just so consistent. 48, 49, 54, 49, 46, past 6 games. So, I mean, he seems like he's good for 45 here as a floor. And in this spot, I can see him cracking 50. So, I think some Zion Williamson and Lonzo Ball at 6'8". Give you a mid-45 at that price. I don't hate it.
Lonzo is intriguing. I tell you what, for a team that runs as fast as the Bulls, I'm actually a little surprised they don't surrender more points from 3. Like, you would think it would be a lot of fast break, catch, and shooting defensively. And it's really not that. Where they really suffer is points in the paint, which is why I like Zion as much as I do. And you can make a loose case for Steven Adams, but I'm probably not going to push the issue on that. Yeah.
We play Lonzo and Kobe White together. If both those guys get you 100 in like a ceiling game, you're looking real nice.
Is it crazy to say that Lonzo has to have a great 3-point shooting night in order to be a great play at 7K? Because I think he does. But maybe falls into some extra peripherals. Get caught up on chat here. NBA Hall of Famer LeBron James is out. Okay, could we LeBron misses one game. This is the first game, right? Back to
the
back.
Greatest basketball player of all time.
Let him. Yes. Okay, whoa, let him live. Run DFS and gun is what taught me how to play the game. I appreciate that, Russ. Always remember to support the real OG. That's love. We out here, right? Many have come and gone, but somehow I'm still here. You guys better play Lakers. Yeah, I think this game's pretty self-explanatory. Like, if you want pieces in this game, it's going to cost you. But the total and the value that exists elsewhere, I think it's a sharp attack here. At least, if you had some lineups that like Zion versus LaVine, like it's super sharp. Maybe you don't feel you're not brave enough to put that in like a single entry, but it's super sharp. Like, there's really not a lot of pushback based on the logistics of the matchup. But you don't feel like you're getting a great deal, right? You need that 50 plus from Zion and LaVine at the price today. But this matchup absolutely has a chance to deliver. Mark says, "Hey Russ, be easy on your lineups. Don't play too much of your money. I know you want." Yeah, Russ needs to save some of the money for us. Like, let the everyman.
Let's have a couple 6-figure nights.
Yeah, there's no way I'd play Steven Adams over Brunson at that price. Yeah, not in like a util. Absolutely not. Give me all the Kobe White and Garrett Temple. I'm with that. I've been watching guns since 17. Go to other channels with channels low. Yeah, there's a lot of great minds in DFS. 100, like, so many great minds, passion. That's why I never hate on another channel. I've been reaching out to other channels trying to collab, and no one does it. No one wants to give me love. I feel like I'm
haters gonna hate.
Nah, not like that. It's just like I don't know. I'm sitting here just listening, and Gun drops the quote of the year, pure audio coming and going. That just, yeah, my bad. My bad if you got kids around. Ron just like, yeah, but what if this guy draws 50? Then I don't have to play hard. I was like, what? Random.
I know.
Hornets at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Project 35 for the Hornets. LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Cody Zeller taking on Ricky Rubio, Anthony Edwards, Josh Okogie, Jared Vanderbilt. I didn't do I always forget Anthony Edwards' bit. Whatever. Karl-Anthony Towns, the big cat. Ernie Ladd, we got 233 total, 2.5 point spread in favor of the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets looking a little bit more full strength here. Gordon Hayward expected to be in, and Zeller could suit up for this one as well. And this would end a short stretch where Zeller and Hayward have both missed. They're still without Devontae Graham, but another 230-plus total. And I think there's still some viability in the Hornets, but again, LaMelo Ball's not going to be cheap. 9.2K on DraftKings, appropriately so. Terry Rozier, 7K, 7,900. After not thriving in Hayward's absence, this, of course, would be hashtag DFS, where he does thrive. PJ Washington coming off a career high and like a career low game in back-to-backs. I think a lot of people will sleep on him. But I would say if Zeller does miss this one again, I'd probably have a little bit of a PJ Washington, at least on FanDuel. And then on the Minnesota Timberwolves, let's talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. New coach here for the T-Wolves. Cat has shown that he is the focal point of this coach's plans and how he wants to drive this offense. And this offense will still be without Malik Beasley for a bit. So it's basically Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Towns, when the games are not blowing out, which is few and far between, is a guy that we probably expect to play, well into the mid 30 minutes, if not a little bit more. Last couple games have been pretty lopsided. Do we expect this game to stay close? And if it does stay close, can Cat outscore Joel Embiid, right? 10K? Can I get over 50 fantasy points here? Earlier this season, he played 31 minutes against the Charlotte Hornets, dropped 46 in those 31. So can I get a couple extra minutes to get a 50-plus to make it worth it? Or is it just another guy that's appropriately priced? If he hits value, but I don't feel like I'm getting a great deal. What say you? High total.
I think Anthony Edwards is my favorite play on this game. 6,900 on DK, 20, 22, 22 shots the past 3 games. Even against Phoenix, he's been shooting poorly, 7 for 29 for 22, 8 for 22, and still getting you, 40-plus in one, 30-plus fantasy points in the other. He's going to chuck more shots than Karl-Anthony Towns, it seems like, just the nature of his game.
Yeah.
So if those shots start falling just a little more and he's not shooting, 25, 30%, he could break a slate at that price. So Anthony Edwards, probably a tier 2 for me. Karl-Anthony Towns, great spot for him, 10K.
Your mic's doing that thing where it rubs against your shirt.
Oh, my bad. Karl-Anthony Towns, 10K, 60-point upside here against the Charlotte team. No one there to guard him. Give me Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. In the Charlotte side, with Gordon Hayward returning today, I feel like LaMelo's price for him being out, like 9.2 is a tough price. He can still get there. Mm-hmm. I think it's a tough click on today's slate to get to LaMelo at 9.2.
Edwards has 20, 22, 22 shot attempts his last 3 games. Doesn't shoot extremely efficient, but he will chuck at will. At this price of 6.9 on DK, I'm a little bit more hesitant, but on FanDuel, it's a little bit more obtainable, a little bit more approachable at 6.4, $500 discrepancy. I still think it's viable on both sites, but considering this total. I think he made the Rising Stars cut here. And he's definitely soaring on Top Shot. So, I get down with some Edwards here.
One of these games, he's going to shoot like 12 for 20, 13 for 20.
Mm-hmm. And it could come against the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets do give up a top, 3-4 amount of points per game via the 3-ball. So maybe Edwards takes advantage of that as well. If you're making 20 lineups right now, is there anyone on the Hornets? A Rozier, a Hayward, a LaMelo at their prices on DraftKings.
Full fade for me.
Okay. 8, 11, 9, 8 shot attempts via the 3-ball last couple games for Edwards. So, I definitely will get to some Edwards here. I think Jared Vanderbilt also an interesting click, but past Cat, Rubio, Edwards, and really Rubio is just like an afterthought. Past Cat and Edwards, this becomes a really, really diluted rotation. I just don't want to take any egregious stance on anyone in particular, considering how big the slate is and how much value it is. And how many days are we getting really, really cute with value, and we're just like, man, where's the value? Today we have the value, so I don't want to get stuck in the land of Jalen Noel and Jordan McLaughlin in the arms of an angel. Chat, you guys do anything with the Hornets? Anything at all? Anything at all? Would you take a shot of LaMelo over Vooch tonight? Ooh. I probably wouldn't, but Anyone else playing the 333 trade day on FanDuel? Won $1 satellite and finished first of 350. Let's get it. I saw FanDuel had a promotion. If all of your players hit a 3-point shot, you would split a side pot, which I thought is pretty fun. Pretty fun from them. You don't see a lot of. They used to do a lot of that, and then they stopped, and now hopefully it's back. Because those are pretty fun. Because Miles Turner would be my center there, especially if Sabonis is out. All right, let's move on to the next one. Orlando Magic hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Project starting five for the Hawks. Hawks night 2 of a back-to-back. Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Tony Snell, John Collins, Clint Capella taking on Michael Carter Williams, Evan Fournier, Dwayne Bacon, Al-Farouq Aminu. We are the nation. Nikola Vucevic. We got a 219 total. 2.5 point spread in favor of the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks and Heat game was such a letdown yesterday. Like, just saying that sentence is ridiculous, but it was.
We fell for the trap. Like, we expected Kendrick Nunn after a big game and John.
I wasn't so like I was most disappointed in Bam Adebayo. I didn't really care. I knew that they still had 3 Dragic Nunn hero. Like, I knew that could have been a crap fest. And then I thought the Hawks would kind of perform a little bit better in the absence of Butler. Anyway, it's a good get right spec, but like bounce back spot potentially for Trae Young. I mean, think about Trae Young's price right now versus like a LaMelo. Like, he's right there, and he's probably a little bit more consistent if you just pull like last 15 games. A lot of 50s there. Capella is listed as questionable if he's unable to go. Maybe some deeper big man minutes for John Collins. It is night 2 of a back-to-back, so maybe they go a little softer with some of their elder statesmen. Bogdan came back last night on a minutes limit. Do they run him again? Or do they extend his minutes? I don't know about that. So I might just I'll go back to some Aaron shots of Kevin Huerter for deep minutes and Trae Young. No tier 1s, probably no tier 2s here. On the Hawks side, on the Magic side, Vucevic, I've said it. We say it every time that the Magic play a game, basically. Like, this is a team that can only stay competitive if Vucevic is having a great game, right? And is this one? You feel like this is a similar spot? Because I don't fear Capella archetype defense versus what Vucevic does. We saw him do it against Gobert. We saw him do it against Dallas. Like, if this game's going to stay competitive, you get 35 minutes of Vucevic. You're getting baby Jokic, basically, in terms of what he's doing, right? Rebounds, assists, real points, and he's not 11-5. He's 10-3. So I think he becomes a fun conversation, especially if Tobias Harris gets rolled out and you want to put 10K on the center. Like, you could make a debate for Vooch versus Embiid. No, if Tobias was out, or are you telling me?
If Fournier's out, I mean,
this
game is close.
That becomes extremely debatable, and that's kind of the darned if you do, darned if you don't approach here. Because if it does stay close, it's like Fournier and Terrence Ross, and maybe MCW. MCW stepped up a little bit last game. But essentially, like, what do you do with Vucevic no matter what? Like, you can run your game theory with or without Fournier.
Yeah, I think you at 10-3, he has 60-point upside in this spot. Without Fournier, even more of a bump. It'd be the Terrence Ross and Vooch show with some like Carter Williams. You gotta play him. I think he's gonna be low owned with all these studs here and everyone able to play him. He's gonna be lower owned than Embiid, than Harden, than Lillard. I assume. I think even Towns gets more ownership than Vooch. So he'll be really low owned.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Orlando's a really slow game, right? Like, Atlanta and Orlando are both slow teams, so
yeah.
The pace might keep people off. If Capella sits, do we go back to John Collins? Because he would see a pretty big bump.
If you had a forward spot open, I think
he's one of those guys that 6,900, that Kobe White, Lonzo Ball price, who has 50-point upside.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that can win you a tournament. So I think I go right back to John Collins there. I don't think I'm getting to any Trae Young today. I think he's priced very closely to Steph Curry, Damian Lillard. Obviously, Harden's a little more, but I probably play Lillard and Curry over Trae Young. So I probably get to know Trae Young today.
Okay. I don't think that's crazy. Hawks growing with Nate McMillan, right? Pete says scoring guard versus the Magic. One of my rules. Trey and Herter. I like them both. I definitely don't mind that. I'll also say like a lot of those guards that were going off against the Magic, like Fred VanVleet and stuff. I think that was prior to the MC Dub era, and he's not, he's not a lockdown. He's an average plus defender versus Cole Anthony. So I do think it's fair to say that took a little bit of a step backwards, but like I'm not gonna push away on Trae Young and Herter, especially if they get the minutes and opportunity that we haven't baked in for. Let's see what you guys got. Embiid won't get Trae and play Curry and Levine with value. I like that. There's so many fun ways to go. It should be fun. Pete says separating fantasy to real life results. Watching Zion, LaMelo. The game is slowed down for them. They are evolving to their next phase. My example I give is Joker reaches final form. Joker's reaches boss form. I bet 500 on Bam's rebound prop. I had Bam's assist prop and it didn't hit. It was tough. Let's move on to the next game. The Dallas Mavericks hosting the Oklahoma City Thunder. Project starting 5 for the Thunder. Dale Maladon, SGA, Lou Dort, Darius Baisley, and Al Horford. Taking on Jalen Brunson, Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, and Kristaps Porzingis. We got a 220 total and a 4-point spread in favor of the home team, Dallas Mavericks. Jalen Brunson setting himself up to be, if not one of the highest scoring or highest owned players on this slate. He is a walking bucket, despite what Raj would want us to think.
Jalen Brunson chalk at 5'3".
Yes, and I'm playing it. Yep.
That's a full fade. That's
no,
the easiest.
You're out of your effing mind, bro. Chronic is about to win. The Chronic, yeah. Did you win last night? No. Chronic's getting a free dub if you're fading.
I won by 0.25.
Okay, so it's a oh my god.
There's no way I'm playing Jalen at 5'3" at this spot. I'm getting to 0 Jalen Brunson.
You're out of your mind. He's the freest square that's ever been squared.
Tim Hardaway Jr., Porzingis.
Bro.
Act like they have nobody else. Trey Burke is going to get some minutes.
Bro, Jalen Brunson is dropping 40 fantasy points at 5K.
Jalen Brunson's going to be the bust of the slate. What's his ownership? I hope he's like 30%. I'm taking every tournament.
Jalen Brunson is such a good play.
I'm making every tournament today if Jalen Brunson's shot.
The Canadian weed is so strong that it's frying your poor little brain cells, bro.
No, there's no reason to get to Jalen Brunson today at 5.
There's no reason. There's no reason at all. You don't think there's a reason?
Yeah, Luka's out. That's cute, but it's no. There's still other guys. Josh Richardson, Tim Hardaway Jr. is there. Like, no, there's other guys. This is still a full team except for one guy that's essentially missing.
That one guy does a lot of stuff.
That's true. I just don't think Jalen Brunson's replacing all that. There's no way at 5'3". Again,
he doesn't have to replace all that. If he's 5K and he just gets 30 and you don't have him, like, okay, well, you're an idiot for taking the free 30.
Today?
6X today? Oh my god! No way, I'm taking that. What?
No. When you have guys at 3,700 who are gonna get you 30, you're not gonna get a 5K 30 guy. It's not what you need.
Jalen Brunson is one of the easiest plays on this entire slate. Yeah, out of your freaking mind. Jalen Brunson averaging over a fantasy point per minute, 1.1 on the season. Off the court versus Luka Doncic. 356 minutes of sample size. This man is a walking bucket. Raj has not watched the greatness that is Jalen Brunson. You're actually going to regret life in the first quarter. Like, it's actually going to... You're going to be like, well, I'm logging off. Why didn't I play the most obvious play in history? You know what's going to happen? I guarantee you this is what's going to happen, guys. He's gonna put on this show now. When we get to lock, he's going to have Jalen Brunson in his lineup. 100% that's what's going to happen. It's 1,000,000% going to happen.
No.
It is. Okay, you probably... I'm going to need you to take an oath. Raj... Vow to not play Jalen.
I won't have Jalen Brunson. That's 100%. I'm a 1v1 with Chronic. No Jalen Brunson at all.
Dennis Schroeder plus Jalen Brunson plus Taylor Horton Tucker. The best plays on the slate says Russ with that.
Russ, you're wrong on this one, but this is where you're going to lose your bankroll.
Ankur says Brunson's dropping 78. Solid Pick says Raj is an idiot. Lorenzo says I'm all over Jalen Brunson, bro. Des says Brunson's outscoring Harden. Lorenzo says Raj, don't get lost in your sauce. Brunson will project for 35 DK points as a median projection. That's above value at his price. Jalen Brunson is the third highest usage behind Porzingis and Luka. Casey StatMuse Brunson without Luka. I don't know if that's a fair StatMuse, but we can try it if you want. I don't need it. Daz says, Raj, that is a mean drug you're on. Don't overthink to play Josh Richardson over Brunson.
Why do you so in love with Jalen Brunson?
Because Jalen Brunson is a walking bucket, and he's got a new top side account. So, narrative, bro.
I just don't see getting to Jalen Brunson.
All right, let's talk about other guys other than Jalen Brunson, because one, Jalen Brunson is just easy play. But two, there's a world where Brunson, Jay Rich, and Tim Hardaway could all probably get you a shot at 25, 35 fantasy points as a median range of outcomes. I will say we'll give some credence to the Thunder playing medium pace. Maybe Lou Dort steps it up defensively. But yeah, Brunson is easy. Kristaps Porzingis, I think, is the one that is worth discussing a little bit. He's AK on both sides. He's kind of getting overlooked here. Porzingis has a 30.5% usage rate in 144 minutes this season with Luka off the court. That's about a fantasy point per minute. And we know if we elongate on that sample size to last season, actually that was 30.5% with Jalen Brunson on and Luka off. So if we stretch that out a little bit to last season, let's put Porzingis on. Let's just take Brunson off for the heck of it. And that number for Porzingis stays at 30%, 590 minutes of sample size, over a fantasy point per minute. And then we bring it back to this season, that 30.2 stays or goes up to 32%. So Kristaps Porzingis might just be like in broad daylight here.
Guess who's the team who gives up the most points to power forwards?
The Thunder?
It's the Thunder. So not a comfortable. I mean, the way he's been played, I don't think people are rushing to him. But again, that matchup, no Luka. See, Porzingis, I understand. Brunson at 5'3", no. But Porzingis 8'2", upsides there, 60-point upside. Best matchup in the league for power forwards. All sides point to Porzingis.
And Jalen Brunson.
No.
Willie Cauley-Stein also questionable. Maybe a couple of extra minutes there. Any Thunder, like SGA is almost 9K on DraftKings, 8,200 on FanDuel.
Full fade of
Forfeit. All right. Casey says Brunson's failed without Luka a bunch of times sustained. So I feel like if you go past this season, it's not a fair look. It's really not, because they had JJ Barea, they had Dennis Smith at times, they had Alec Burks or Trey Burks at times.
I mean, they still have Trey Burke. They got Josh Richardson, Tim Hardaway, and they got bodies.
Without Luka Doncic. Let's go last 5 games. They got bodies, but I think Carlisle knows. Like, they know. In the last game without Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson dropped 49.3 fantasy points.
When was this?
January 3rd of the year of our Lord 2021.
How much did Porzingis drop? Was Porzingis in that game?
I don't think so, but still.
Yes, let's put some context into that.
I mean, but I don't care if he gets 30, Raj. If one of the best upside plays per dollars on the slate is 50% owned and his median range of outcome is 6x value, I'm playing him, dog. Like, what is the pushback? I don't get it. It's just a free square. Dad says, do you like Hardaway as a high-end value play? I think Hardaway and Jay Rich, I think one of those two oftentimes will be a solid play here as well. Perhaps there's a range where all three hit. A couple games back, all three of those guys hit with Luka. So maybe take Luka out the mix and they thrive tonight. W. German says Burke for 30 tonight, 10x, right? Okay. I mean, I can't wait for Jalen to drop 10.
Yep.
Real points in the first 2 minutes. Got him. Maxi Kleber had a Burke's the beast if he shoots 80%. Hardaway shot dependent. And then Jay Rich is kind of a stat stuffer that I think you could pick up some slack here. I don't know, man. I don't even know though. So Horford, none of them, SGA, none of those guys for you?
No Horford SGA for me. I mean, centers have been doing well against Dallas. I mean, Boosh just had a big game against them. Horford isn't that. But yeah, there's so many bodies. You have Roby there, Baisley, Scala still seeing minutes, 15 minutes a game. I'm a pass.
Golden State Warriors at the Portland Trailblazers. Next game on the docket, project starting 5 for the Warriors. Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre Jr., Draymond Green, Kevin Looney taking on Dame Dollar, Damian Lillard, Gary Trent, Derrick Jones Jr., Robert Covington, and they hate us because they ain't us. Cantor at 233.5 total. 1.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Golden State Warriors. Damian Lillard versus Steph Curry. Things could get crazy. You can combine these two, maybe get 100-plus fantasy points, and there's plenty of value to boot. I like that. Draymond Green is extremely expensive, but the minutes and the potential fantasy point ceiling that he has might be worth a look. Warriors can often go small ball, and we've seen that in the absence of Harry Giles, Zach Collins, and Yusuf Nurkic. Kenner hasn't been the only center for them. Robert Covington has also gotten some minutes as a backup big, and that really came into fruition against the Charlotte Hornets. And we saw Rocco Carmelo live with Damian Lillard. Covington played 38 minutes, and it was just it was like insane amount of minutes. So I do think Covington is probably going to get a little bit slept on in the 6K range, and I think he has a little bit of potential to thrive in this spot. Yeah, what do you do with this game? Dame Lillard versus Steph Curry. There's so many ways to be contrarian, right? Not a lot of Harden lineups can feature both, if not just one of a Lillard Curry. In addition,
I think you want both of them. So I think Curry at 9.9 DK, like that price tag. With Oubre questionable, I'm going to lean towards him sitting just because, again, last game before the break, I think it's a bump to Curry. So give me Curry, give me Lillard. And I think maybe Wiggins, again, with Oubre out, Wiggins and Draymond could have a game. Draymond's annoying. At 7,500, he legit has 50 points, 60-point upside. 3 out of his past 4 games, he's been in the winning lineup. So that's intriguing. He has struggled in 2 games against Portland this year. Seems like he's averaging 22 minutes. I don't know if he was in a minutes limit then. But again, no Oubre. Give me Steph. Wiggins gets a bump.
Just to clarify, he's not out. Oubre is questionable, but you keep saying without. I don't want to mislead viewers.
Yeah, I hear you. And then Portland side, I think it's just Lillard for me, and I'm going to not play any of these other peripheral guys today on this slate.
I would probably still get the Rocco, Lillard, and Gary Trent has the ability to chuck 10-plus shot attempts from 3. If Oubre was out, like the Draymond plus for you, or revenge game, Kent Bazemore?
I think. I mean, I'm definitely not playing Kent Bazemore with the value we got today.
Oh, okay. No, that would be dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, incredibly dumb. And then, I mean, Draymond Green, I think Oubre's a rebounder. Like Oubre gets a good amount of rebounds. So if those rebounds fall to Draymond, could be a triple-double shot.
Okay. Chat. Mentioned this at the top of the stream, but we'll talk about it again. If you guys have interest in Steph Curry and Damian Lillard picks tonight, PrizePicks is doing a pretty cool thing with Top Shot moment giveaways. They are going to give away a Steph Curry moment and a Damian Lillard moment that's over $500 worth of moments. If you are a new user, you sign up using code GUNDACKER, you will get an instant deposit bonus up to $100. $10 becomes $20, $20 becomes $40, $100 becomes $200 of playable money instantly, no slow drip. And then if you sign up and you make a pick card that involves Steph Curry and Damian Lillard, you will be entered into a chance to win Steph Curry and Damian Lillard moments on Top Shot. So if you guys are on Top Shot, this is kind of the wave of the future, right? Last week I announced I would take some Top Shot as payments for VIP. Like now we're seeing sites kind of get in. There's a lot of overlap between DFS and Top Shot right now, and I think you're going to see more collaborations like this. So pretty cool promotion. If you guys haven't tried it yet, it's a parlay style prop bet site where you can bet on individual fantasy point performances. Their NBA fantasy points is the same as FanDuel scoring, individual point props, assist props, rebound props, and they don't just have NBA. They have NASCAR, they have college sports, they have League of Legends, they have hockey, all that good stuff. But since we're a basketball stream, I want to mention the basketball product. Really good promotion. You guys somebody can deposit $10 tonight using code Gundecker. Turn that into 20. Then parlay that into a 10x return 4-pick parlay. And then wake up in the morning and have Steph Curry and Damian Lillard moments potentially given to them based on this promotion. So go check that out, PrizePicks.com. And just out of curiosity, if we go pull up PrizePicks and kind of see what the props are for these two, I think the point props and the fantasy point props are the two that we'd probably want to focus on. So, for instance, let's put Lillard here. Lillard has a fantasy point projection of 54. So the way you play this site is you bet whether or not Lillard would go over or under. And since it's the same as FanDuel scoring, I'm going to go Damian Lillard FTP by game log versus Steph Curry last 10 games. And how often has Dame Dollar exceeded 54? Knowing that some of these games are going to be low with CJ McCollum in. Take out CJ McCollum, take out Yusuf Nurkic. They can go above that, but he's only exceeded that once, and that was 10 games ago. So maybe it's a little sharp to bet the under, unless you thought he was playing inspired. And then Steph Curry, FTP by game log versus Damian Lillard, last 10 games. Now, this isn't a scientifically way to make every bet. It's just kind of an idea of how you play the site. Steph Curry dropped 69, 42, 70. And his prize picks for this game is sitting at 51. So those are their fantasy points. You can isolate that a little bit more if you wanted to. If you wanted to root for a shootout, you can isolate it to real points. Curry is got a line of 30.5 real points. Damian Lillard has 31.5 real point. So if you think either one of those can exceed that, go for it. And then maybe a few more assists here for Lillard. He's at 9 assists. Yikes. Curry, I'm scared to bet Curry assists because Draymond exists. 6.5 assists for him. And then they also have the rebound prop. And it's when we get these big slates like this, 10-game slates, it gets very overwhelming to play DFS on a 10-game slate because there's just so many different ways your lineups can go. I do like even more so focusing on prop bets because there's definitely a little bit more value and you feel a little bit more confident with the few that you end up playing. So I'm going to be playing a nice chunk of change on prop betting tonight, sports betting, and some prize picks. So you guys want to join me, check that out. I'll probably post some of my favorite picks in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP Discord. So check that out. You guys got anything on this game before we get to the VIP plug? Des says Brunson can give me what Curry and Lillard can tonight. Let's get it. You agree with that one, Raj?
I'm with it.
That's Raj admitting he was not listening to what I just said.
I was on mute right now. It's like
you said I'm with it. Let's go. We put a wall up on the Canadian border. I'm with it. No, I said Brunson can give me what Curry and Lillard can get tonight. I said no. I say you agree with that one, Raj. I'm with it. Get the freak out of here.
He's 5'3". I don't know why people are so in love with Jalen Brunson.
Oh my God, going lower that ownership on Brunson, Schroeder, Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith, I don't think will be egregious. I think Brunson and Schroeder will be two of the top owned.
Who do you like better, Schroeder or Brunson? Schroeder, right?
Schroeder seems like safer, isolated floor-wise, but I think Brunson arguably, I don't know, the matchup is so good.
Schroeder has a better matchup.
I do think it's contingent on Kuzma's status. Because Montrezl Harrell could have the game of his life.
I'm not Montrezl Harrell's a guy. It just costs me so much money.
Fade Montrezl if you want to. Horton Tucker, 30 real points tonight with that. Draymond's the highest ejection rate in NBA. It's scary playing him sometimes. Yeah, it's not great. Random fact, Wiggins went to my high school in Vaughan, Ontario. Used to live down the street from me before he went to NBA and got rich. Mopar says, I bet 5 every night for Draymond to get ejected in the first half. One day I'll hit for 1,000. DFS 2021, it's got to be a Burke night, right? Yeah, we're so confident in some of these plays right now. Hashtag DFS, when will we learn? Went to the same high school as Jesse, the body Ventura. Cool. Jesse. I love Jesse. Love his voice. Good dude. One game left on the docket. Guys, after the stream, I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord looking a little something like this. So if you guys like DFS information and pictures of my cat, my girlfriend loads them. These are old pictures. What? We'll be in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP voice chat. You guys can grab a mic, join the conversation, or you can listen in. We'll have some fun. Bigger slate, so we'll probably keep it a little bit more serious today. The head-to-head series. Rods, what's the score? You and Chronic have a best of 10 head-to-head series. Yesterday you squeaked out. So
yesterday was so sick. Like, did you see how close it was? Chronic was 5 points down, and it was the fourth quarter, and he had DeAndre Ayton and Morris from the Lakers going. And so I scored like 278. He had like 272. And DeAndre Ayton was for some reason like benched halfway through, and Morris didn't get there. I thought I was dead. So won by 0.25. Survived staying out there. It's 5-4. Gonna tie it up today when I don't play Jalen Brunson. And
so this is head-to-head game 10. If Chronic wins, he wins the series. If you tie it up, it's 5-5, and we got to go to sudden death overtime. And tomorrow, which I think is like the last slate, right?
Yeah.
So that would be incredible. So if you're going to fade Jalen Brunson, oh my. It's fun. Chat, if you guys want to hang out with us in the Discord.
Let me talk to Russ about Jalen Brunson. That's why everyone's so high on him. I just don't get it.
Russ is leading the Jalen Brunson train, dog. What are you talking about? Chat, we
I
have
to fade Jalen Brunson and I have to fade Russ on his heater.
Yeah, don't fade Russ. You're out of your mind. Russ luck. All-Star break passes are up. If you guys want to lock in today until the MLB All-Star break in July, it's only $200. $200 to get you locked until then. We also, I don't know if Russ, I don't want to announce it yet, Russ. Maybe tomorrow we'll announce it before he confirms it. We also might be doing some giveaways soon on some month passes and a lot of month passes. A lot. So you guys can check that out. I might adjust. I don't know. I feel like I should adjust something since we're going to have a week off. I don't want people to sign up for $25 and then not feel like they get a full thing. So I might fix that tonight. I might fix that now. Chat, if I change this week pass right now to $10, literally on the air, 10.
How many sites would they get?
Let me see. NBA schedule. Let me look at this. Let me look at it. Because we still got NASCAR coverage this weekend. But yeah, you guys are here for NBA. So we got a 10 game tonight. So that's a big slate. Tomorrow, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 game. And then we don't come back until the 10th.
It's a week. I think you might as well just wait till the new week, or you just add on like tomorrow and today to that.
Yeah. I don't know. I would feel bad if somebody got a week pass right now. I'd adjust it. If somebody gets a week pass, I'll fix it. I'll fix the time on it. But you can lock into the All-Star break for baseball. $200, man. That gets you 4 months of coverage for essentially $50 a month. So I think that's a good deal. Check that out. We'll be in the RunDFS.com voice chat here in a little bit. Main event tonight, Sacramento Kings hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. Project 35 for the Lakers. Dennis Schroeder, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris, and Montrezl Harrell taking on De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, Rashawn Holmes. We got 224 total, 3.5 point spread in favor of the home team. Sacramento Kings, a bunch of Qs on the Lakers side. After last night's game, we learned that LeBron James would take his first night off. Well-deserved. Year 18. He's been ruled out for rest. Alex Caruso has a Q tag on him dealing with neck spasms. He ended up he played a little bit last night, and then they ruled him out with the spasms, so there's a good chance he just sits this one out. Kyle Kuzma ended up not playing yesterday, but they hope Frank Vogel said he hopes to have Kyle Kuzma available for this game against the Kings. He's dealing with a right heel contusion. He was a late scratch last night. Marc Gasol did not play yesterday. We saw Montrezl Harrell start in his place. He had health protocols, So with the COVID stuff, that might indicate that he's not ready the next night. We'll see on that one. But this gives us a stripped-down Lakers lineup. No AD, no LeBron, potentially no Marc Gasol. And we have a lot of 6K or less goodness against the worst defense in the National Basketball Association, Sacramento Kings. And there's really not a name you could take from the Lakers that I would think you're crazy. Kuzma, Schroeder, and Harrell seem like the fun big three with the most upside. But because it's the Kings defense, you can chip and chair Markieff Morris, Kentavious Caldwell. Huh?
Why Harrell? Again, last game he played 18 minutes when there was no Marc Gasol and no Kuzma.
Did you just say definitely no Montrezl Harrell? Like definitely?
I think I like Markieff Morris over Harrell.
So points per dollar, sure, but I don't think I'd be out of there on Harrell. I'm not overthinking it. Like maybe not tier oneing Harrell, but like Harrell could drop 50 tonight. He literally dropped 50 tonight, Raj. He literally
definitely not dropping 50. I don't know what world Montrezl Harrell dropping 50.
Montrezl Harrell's a good per minute producer. All right, I know the minutes were down the last two games, and yes, without Marc Gasol, you would expect deep minutes. But there's no shot. I have 0% Montrezl Harrell tonight. It's just not happening.
I'll have 0.
So you're gonna have no Brunson, no Harrell.
No, definitely no Harrell. Like at the center spot, I'll just find other guys. Like Boucher will be probably the cheapest I go and the pay up for the Embiid Bouches of the world at center spot. Yeah, so no Harrell for me, absolutely 0.
Okay, cool. What do you do with so you're just gonna go Schroeder, Kuzma?
Schroeder, Kuzma, 5'8" on DK. Running split. I think I like my number one.
I'll say it like Kuzma. You probably wouldn't be able to know Kuzma's in any type of like. And
Taylor Horton Tucker's probably my number 2.
Yeah, Horton Tucker's playable no matter what, right?
Yeah,
and I think Caruso could be out.
Morris at his price. He's been seeing big minutes, even with LeBron, 22, 28, 22, 24. With LeBron out, without the Kuzma news at 3-7. I think if Kuzma's out, I think Morris could have like a 35, 40-point game here. He's a guy that can definitely shoot and score some buckets. So I think he'd probably be my number 3. And then Kuzma.
All right, running back here. This Lakers defense is probably not going to be as strong as the numbers suggest. No AD, no LeBron, no Marc Gasol. Those are probably their 3 best, big defenders. This Sacramento Kings offense might be able to step up. Offensive rating 113.8 per 100 possessions. Fox is going to cost you on DraftKings. I think he's got a case to be made versus Lowry in a 1v1. We still have Tyrese Halliburton out. And then Whiteside's out. Jabari Parker and Buddy Hield have Q tags on them. Harrison Barnes.
Buddy Hield Q is big.
It is. Harrison Barnes is almost 7K on both sites. I feel like I'm not going to get there today. And then Rashawn Holmes is, like, again, the numbers are going to say that the Lakers shut down centers, but I think we can,
great spot for him.
We can ignore the numbers today. So what do you do with the Kings?
But so at first glance, I was like, I probably won't get the Kings. But then, the minutes are there for even guys like Marvin Bagley. All the usage is going to go to like kind of their big 4. With Halliburton now, with Fox, but with Buddy Hield questionable, Fox, Barnes, Bagley, and Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think, all the usage, what's there at their prices. It seems like a spot where 2 or 3 of those guys could all get there too if the Lakers keep this close instead of being a high-scoring game. Like I said, if Barnes gets you 45 at 7K, not a comfortable click, but he's been giving you 40-plus past 3 games. Could see that happening. You got Bagley, who's seeing minutes now, fully healthy, against a Lakers team who, again, in the middle will be Marcus Morris and Harrell. He should smash. Holmes. I probably don't get the Fox just because of that 9K price tag. I'd find extra for guys like Curry and Lillard. But, it's intriguing. He could definitely give you 50 with no Halliburton. They're priced right for some reason. I don't know if I'll get to a lot of them, but I feel like I should.
Yeah. 10-game slate. We're going to have feelings like that. And I encourage people on the bigger the slate, make some strong stands. You don't have to make concrete stands. But if you start thinking too timidly, you're like, man, I love this guy, but that guy can do this and that guy can do this, so I want to play them all. And now you got 15% of a bunch of guys, you're just going to be stretched way too thin to likely draw a big profit unless you hit number one. So it going to take some stands, and there's going to have to be some uncomfortable cuts, guys that you can drop 50. So like De'Aaron Fox, LaMelo Ball, Zach LaVine, all 9K plus where they can get to 50 plus, but they have to. Maybe those guys take a step backwards for me, and then you got to make some really,
Bagley Holmes at 66, 6,500. You play them with like Lonzo, Kobe White, Anthony Edwards. You can build an entire lineup with just these mid 6K guys, and they all have 40-point upside, if not 50.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And also, like, if you wanted, like, for instance, if you wanted some, I don't know, if you wanted Kuzma, right? Opportunity of Kuzma without AD, without LeBron, but you're not sold that he's going to play. He's at a price point where you could almost pivot from a guy, like if you loaded up on a Bagley or a Holmes and a util, you could swap that to a Kuzma. Might leave you a little bit extra, but like there are some late swap potential plays here. I got a couple games at the 10 p.m. time, so maybe Gary Trent side by side to a Kuzma, even Wiggins, although I'm not in love with that. So if you
how much Harrison Barnes? Like at 7K.
I probably get to none if I'm being honest. Like at 7K, like I definitely think 40 is there, but like this, I don't necessarily have this being a crazy pace spot. I think there's been a couple really, really deep, higher pace games lately against bad offenses, but the minutes will be there for sure. But I'm probably at 7K it's just gonna fall through the cracks. I don't necessarily think it's a bad play. I just don't think I get there in practice. Yep. Anyway, let's get a hot take for the road. Raj, your hot take. I'm assuming it's going to be Brunson related.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson scores less than 22 DKP. So Marc Gasol got ruled out.
Marc Gasol is. You said he got ruled out.
He was questionable. He got ruled out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's got that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So cool. So you're on that chat. Give me some hot takes. Your hot take is what? Brunson what? What?
Brunson scores less than 25 DKP, and Kobe White and Lonzo Ball combined for 100.
Man, you love Lonzo right now. Huh?
He's been getting it done.
Chat, tomorrow is the last slate before the All-Star break. So we'll be back at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. It is another big slate. Raptors, Celtics, Clippers, Wizards. Give me those hot takes, chat. Pistons, Knicks, Bucks, Grizzlies, Nuggets, Pacers, Heat, Pelicans, Thunder, Spurs, Warriors, Suns, and Kings and Blazers. So still a lot of teams on back-to-backs tomorrow. There's a lot of games going. So tomorrow will be the last stream before the All-Star break. Then we recharge. We enjoy some time with our familias. Get a little spring training baseball in. Get ready for the grind to the baseball All-Star break. It's gonna be 4 months of just running gun. I'm with it. I'm here for it. See what you guys got in chat. Running Montrez 50% of my lines. Ooh, fat. So I love the idea of Montrez. Like, so here's the deal. Montrez is purely a minutes, like, will he get minutes play? If Montrezl Harrell gets 30 minutes today without a LeBron, without an AD, without a Marc Gasol, Harrell's the best player on the slate.
No.
Absolutely. If he gets 30. But if he gets 12 and 15, you're kind of stuck out. Like, you're sleeping on what Montrez can do in this spot. But I don't think I'm not sold that the field is that confident on him. So I don't think you have to have 50% Montrez, but I think he could be one of the best plays on the slate should he gets those minutes. But if it's limited to 20 or less, I don't think you're really gonna have to get crazy, or you probably don't want it. And then 50% would kill you, right? I would do like 2 Larry. Anyway, your cover if he does go off or under the field. Yep. I can see Plumlee going dummy. Paul says Lonzo for 60. Ankur says Lonzo 99. Montrez.
Lonzo and Kobe White.
Lorenzo says Montrez is the highest scoring center tonight. All right. Mopar says, I'm telling you, if he got 30 minutes, I don't think that's.
No way, the high point center.
Okay. That's ambitious, yes. But points per dollar, I think he would obliterate. Mopar says, Raj, let's bet 22 fantasy points. Brunson, now you say 25. What's it going to be? Montrez and Holmes are the same type of player. They are. That's a big if. Absolutely if. The GOAT, Jared Dudley. Let's go. Trae Young, all-star snub performance at 50. LaMelo, 60. I'm loving these takes, chat. I'll be in the RunDFS.com voice chat in about 10 minutes. Rise, I got to hang up. I'll see you in a little bit.
Y'all can find me on the top of the leaderboards, fading Brunson. Get me out. Showstopper, baby. You'll see it.
Chat. That was a fun stream. Against Rashawn Holmes. Yeah, no, I think Montrezl has potential. Anyway, if you guys follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker, I'll try and do something. Like I definitely don't want somebody to have to pay full price for two slates worth of coverage. So we had 2 slates. We have some NASCAR this weekend. I don't know. I might do like a $10 deal or something. Get you guys in there. So yeah, if you guys want to hang out for $10, check the site in like 20 minutes, and there might be a $10 week pass. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. I hope you guys absolutely crush it tonight. Win all of the money that Russ lets us have, us plebs. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. As always, good luck. God bless, and go win some money.